Okay, I'll be right back. I'm back. Oof. Hello, penguin. Okay, what are we doing today? We're doing Ziggy bug fixing. We are definitely doing Ziggy bug fixing. We have this example, which should definitely be valid, but somehow we regressed it, which is mind blowing to me. But apparently, this is an unexpected token, I guess. So, well, we need to see what the heck is going on here. I had this open yesterday, so that's why I'm already kind of there. So here we are looking at here. We should be in this case. Maybe we're not. Maybe that's the problem. But no, that would not explain then this. I don't know. Let's see. Hello. I have a question that might seem a little silly, but in my opinion, this documentation is not sufficient to learn Zig in depth. Do you agree? And where can I deepen my knowledge? Holy shit, invalid token. Borg pooped itself. So that is interesting. We really need to take a look at Borg and yeah, well, guess what? YouTube kicked me out in the middle of the session. Oh man. YouTube, what a shitty system. Okay, to answer your question, in my opinion, the Zig documentation is not sufficient to learn Zig in depth. Yeah, I guess. I mean, learning a programming language is always something a bigger effort than whatever the documentation tells you about the language, because you need to learn things that by definition do not belong in the documentation, as in the language reference. When I say documentation, I mean the language reference. Then there's the reference, the standard library reference. But the point is that those pieces of documentation are references. So yeah, a reference is not enough to learn things. It's a component. Or rather, you know what? Maybe you can do stuff on your own with just a reference. So could be done, I guess. But yeah, references are one piece of the puzzle when you talk about documentation normally. And yeah, we do not provide a lot of the types of documentation. We do provide some stuff, but not enough to cover the full language. Yeah, sure. Where can I deepen my knowledge? Look at the Learn section on the official website. Look at the other resources that we link there. Some of them will be the kind of source material that you're looking for. And then find a project and start writing some Zig. Join a community and start interacting with people in a Zig community. And that's how you get better. Doing stuff and interacting with other people that are doing the same stuff as you are, who are walking the same path. Bishal Roy, hello. Sorry, your message got lost in Borg because I had to restart it. But I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm doing some Ziggy bug fixing now. So so this complaint here by the language server, this is wrong. We don't know what's causing it, but we definitely need to learn more about that. So let's go in logging, and I think I might have Am I muting some logging? No, I'm not. Okay. So we can log if you want. And then we can take a look at what happens when we're here. p.tar.tag, we consume it. Wait a second. This surprises me. Otherwise we complain that it's an unexpected token. Yeah. Hey, do you have any time to explain a bit about the recent changes regarding multi-threading async in Zig? Well, I mean, that's a very generic question, so I'll give you a generic answer. But if you download a unstable build of Zig, then you get access to new stuff in std.io. Most of the work was already done in, well, let's say that if you have an application and you need to update it to newer Zig, then most of the work had to be done when 0.15 was released. Sorry, 0.15.2, let's say. Because there is the reader writer change, and so once you update reader and writer, then you're kind of like mostly there. But new unstable builds of Zig also have async and concurrent that you can use to launch stuff at the same time, roughly speaking. And I don't know. You pick an implementation. For now there's a couple. There's one based on multi-threading, so it's just multiple threads. So every time you want to do something at the same time, I'm being imprecise on purpose because the right word is not parallel. The right word is not. Sometimes it's concurrent. Sometimes is asynchronous. It depends on the context. But yeah, if you want to do stuff at the same time, then you use io.async or io.concurrent, and you make stuff happen at the same time. The second implementation is the one based on green threads, but it's not complete on macOS, I think. So yeah, that's where we're at. And my work on the thread pool implementation, io.threaded, was merged recently. So it used to have a bug in it that would potentially deadlock your application. Now that's fixed. So yeah. Yeah, you should definitely, upgrading to 15.2, it's already 80% of the work. Because the new stuff that is coming now, it's optional. You can opt into it. Like if you before were already doing stuff either sequentially or you were spawning threads manually, that will still be there. But then if you want to opt into the more advanced IO stuff, then you can do that at your own pace. More or less. I don't know. Maybe something will break, but it's not as traumatic as upgrading to 15.2. That is the hard part. Okay, I think we can put another assert here. And I think that we can trip this assert. Let's see if we make this thing unhappy. Also, you know what? I think we can do Zig build. We do Zig build and then we just do Ziggy FMT or Ziggy check. I don't know. Yeah, we can do Ziggy FMT, I guess. No field named async limit in struct io.threaded. Oh shit, right. That's the new change that got just merged. We don't have it yet. I don't know if it's out yet. I'm gonna change main. Okay, so this prints unexpected token. It still does not 3-power new assertion, which is genuinely interesting. Also, this assertion here is useless because we are already entering this guy, so I'm gonna take this out. That assertion is useless. Okay, the next question is, do we get in here? So sd debug.print. Or you know what? We can do any, and then we print the full token. Why not? Now, this is interesting because we get there only once, which is interesting because actually we should be getting there twice. So, yeah, something fishy is going on. Also, we can do Ziggy build test, I guess. We also have this as a test case. Okay. So the next problem, here we have the full AST. Maybe that can help us. Because we can see, man, I wish these nodes could be printed in a slightly better way. God damn it, man. In any case, we have root expression, type expression. Then we have a struct. Then we have a struct that contains some struct fields. Struct field. Wait a second. Struct field, yeah, followed by a type expression. Is this where we stop? What? So the use case is this. Oh yeah, it does have a single field. Never mind. So it does have a single field, but then we fail to close this. I think this trailing comma might be kind of partially the curl pit. Out of curiosity, if I take this comma out, does anything get better? No, it does not. But it's this curly that is not handled as we should. Crazy. It's really crazy. Okay, so this has to do with, this is a problem either in this is a problem in type expression. This is definitely a problem in type expression, I think. Struct field, union field. I think this is all well and good, but actually, let's see. So there's a struct field. If there's a colon, so we are centered on an identifier, we consume it. If there's a colon, we consume it. Otherwise, we don't care. Then we expect to find something that looks like the beginning of a type expression. And we add a type expression child, we continue in there. That is fine. If we say comma or a right bracket, we complain that there's a missing type expression. This actually surprises me because we should complain about the missing type expression only in the case of a struct field. But I guess we'll get to that in a moment. I think the next problem is that let's look at the type expression handling code. There we go. In type expression, while true, we consume. These guys make up the type expression, yeah. So here we complain if there's a missing terminal type, then we go up. And depending on what is up, we do different things. So if it's a union field or a struct field, if there's a comma, we consume it. Otherwise, if it's an identifier, we complain. Wait a second. So we go up. So we're centered on the first token that is not part of the type, which might be a comma, might be a curly brace, might be a square bracket in the happy path. We close the type expression node. So now we are at the struct field or union field level. So we're in here. If the token is a comma, close, consume, go up. Otherwise, close. If it's an identifier, next. We complain because we're expecting a comma after a field. But this should not be the case. Wait, did I break the tokenizer and I'm failing to recognize union as a keyword? That might be it, actually. That might be it. But in any case, then we go up. This gets us to the container element. So let's take a look at the container element once we get to it again, which is here. Here, in theory, meta should be set to something different than container head. We should be either in field or decals. And we should be seeing a right bracket. We should make us close the node, go up, reject docs, consume, and continue operating. That so far looks good to me. I think the only thing that we could be observing is that I fail to recognize union as a keyword and I recognize it as an identifier. But that still would not explain, though. That still would not explain, I think. Well, no, actually, eh. Yeah, no, still confused. Still confused. So here's what we need, I think. I think we need a breakpoint in here. We need a breakpoint in here. We need to Zig build. And then we need to run through a debugger to see where it is that at which point things are going south, I think. Um, AST 448. This guy causes the unexpected token error? Where the heck are we even right now? We're at the root level. If token tag is different than EOF, unexpected token and finalize. Okay. So how do we get there? Is this? Oh, this is this else. Oh man, I think I messed this up royally. So here we're entering, so here basically we're entering root, but we're entering root after something has been parsed. So there's already one child, and we're getting back into it. So basically, I need to expect either a struct keyword or a union keyword and then go down that path if we see that. Why is this completely missing? Also, we're consuming. Why are we consuming? I don't think we should be consuming here. I think here we should be switching on the active token. Should we not? Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, this code path is definitely missing some stuff. So, okay, let's get started. We switch p.talk and .tag. Okay, what are we looking at? EOF return p.finalize. Probably also with EOD. Although we have been doing special stuff for EOD in some places, is this a place where we care about doing special stuff for EOD or do we not? I only see EOF handling, not EOD. Is EOD handled in here somehow? Well, I guess we can worry about that in another moment. So yeah, if we see EOF, we do this. If we see EOD, blah blah blah. If we see struct keyword, or if we see union keyword, well, we can do it this way. We need to make them separate. Try p.add add a struct node, continue parse with struct, I guess. How do we do this normally? Yeah, like this. Basically want this. I think this is how it should be. Almost. I think it could be made better, but this should do. Yeah, let's see. There's no EOD in token tag. Oh, right. EOD is a document concept, not a schema concept. Oops. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Reach unreachable code. Validate identifier. Finalize validate identifier. DFS path entries len. 0. Oh, man. Okay, interesting. Interesting. What about Ziggy test? We're gonna fail this one as well somehow, but I wonder if we broken any other test. We have broken 3 tests. Okay, so now 3 tests crash. Okay, interesting. I guess let's start by focusing on this one. So the problem is that we're hitting 448. So we get here and there's an EOF. And so we finalize. So what's the problem with that? While P is different than root, keep closing it. Oh, we're not closing root apparently. Which I think I remember why. I have this very vague memory, but I think that was AST stuff, not schema stuff. I think, you know what? I think this needs to be like this. Well, true. I think that's how they should be coded. That way, that said, that's not going to fix our problems, I think. But then in here, where is here? Validate identifiers. We asked that the DFS path entries len is 0, but it's not. I think this is just me forgetting to reset this thing. "24 crashes now. We made things worse. Okay. Jesus. Okay, you know what? Let's return this to what it was before, I guess. We close root manually then, somehow. No, we just kind of don't care about root, I guess. Fine. But the problem is this assertion. Yeah. The problem is that assertion that trips in 12.12, 14.14. 12.12. Okay, DSF path. So let's take a look at what's going on in here. So unexplored paths and DFS path. Yeah, this needs to be reset. Top level names. So we're doing this. We're doing for each top level name. I think the problem is that after every loop, we end up with DFS path containing one thing. I bet you that this has length 1 when it pops. Yeah, it has length 1 when we get there. I think we can do it like this. Defer. There we go. So this now works. How are we doing test-wise? 1 failed test, 18 crashes. Are they crashing for the newest version? They're crashing for the newest version. Because in some cases, DFS path length ends up being 0. That is interesting. I wonder in which cases this remains 1 then. Okay, so here's what we can do. Comment out this assert. Let's see where that gets us. That should get us to 1 failing test. Oh, we still have 2 crashes. Interesting. Expected this output, instead found this. Oh, yeah. Of course, because that test is formulated as a formatting test, so that's fine. Now we have 2 crashes to worry about. Okay. So duplicate field crashes, and field after decal crashes as well. Interesting. This one crashes? Huh? Oh, wait. We need to remove the breakpoint. uh, okay, so this is solved. I have more reported bugs to look at. Let me see if this one works. So we have this repro. So copy this. So let's take a look at how this works. So if I put this outside, I think that if I put this outside, we're not going to be happy when we look at the document, I think. So level is debug. Are we happy? No, we're not happy. And I think that makes sense. The problem is that we failed to do a lookup of the other name. But if we do this, then now we're going to be happy. Yeah, this is 100% of me. There's some lookup stuff that is missing. Oh man, that is annoying. Let's go to 1950. So here, I'm assuming that I 100% will get this container by looking at this scope. But that is not guaranteed. I might need to go upwards, but can we reference upwards? Does that work? That is supposed to work, right? Yeah, so basically I have implemented this in some places, but I have not implemented this in other places. Like for example, if I do this, and here I try to do log level, it complains undeclared identifier, which is kind of a shitty error. Actually, could be made better. But yeah, the point is that this declaration here is not visible here on the outside. But it is if I put this at the top level, and it is if I put it inside, which is what I was doing in here. So the question is, this should be, well, not this, but I mean this, oh God, this should be allowed. And it works, and it is allowed at this level. But then when I do schema validation, we're missing the well, look upwards if you don't find it part of the thing. So how do we do this? Let's do it, I guess. Beautiful while true. Okay, so how do you do scopes upwards? I need to remember. Okay, we have a container name, and we have a stack of scopes that we entered into. But what is above here in the stack scope is not the parent scope that I need to be looking into. This concept of stack scopes is a different thing. So we need to say, given a scope, I need to be able to learn what is the parent scope, which is not the previous one in the scope stack. It's a different concept. So a scope in here, it's a U32. So I'm guessing it's a node. It's a container node. So I guess I can do node.parent. And that will give me another one of these guys. Okay, so scope IDX is going to be scope or current scope, I guess. Look at current scope. We expect to find it. So I think this is fine. This can be a question mark. Then we want to look at its types. Yes. And we want to get this guy, which this needs to be hoisted. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we search upward. So we do current scope. We try to get it. And then we either find it or not. So if we don't find it, we do current scope is the parent of this node. So it's going to be schema ast dot nodes at current scope dot parent idx. Outside of the square brackets. Okay. And then we continue, I guess. Here we just want to break with this entry, right? But if we fail to find and current scope is already the root scope, so if we're already at 0, well, we should assert basically because that's a we fail to find something and that should be impossible. So assert the current scope is different than 0. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let's look at the repro. So Ziggy check repro.ziggy. Oh my god, what is even happening right now? This is not my music build. This is an old one. It's looping forever, apparently. What? Are you serious? Hmm. So tests are fine. I'm very surprised that we loop forever. Truly surprised. Truly surprised. Okay, so this works just like it was working before. I guess it was the second struct that was causing trouble. Wow, surprising. This loops forever. Crazy. This loops forever. Out of curiosity, what if here we do a panic? Okay, so here we do hit the panic. So we are getting in here. That truly surprises me that this never goes to zero. How the heck does this never go to zero? How the heck does this never go to zero? Guess we can print that stuff. That's some printing. Or we print it here. Oh, well, look at this idiot that I am. I'm God damn it. This goes outside. Oh man. Oh, there we go. Success. Okay, so we have implemented it. The only problem is we have implemented it, but there's a couple places where we haven't looked into it yet. So this is enum. We need to do the same for union, and we need to do the same for struct. So let's go find the other places where. Wait, what? There's an enum. Search name. We find the container index. So this is the container that corresponds to the um to the type that this enum corresponds to. If it's a struct, we complain. If it's an union, oh, schema safe. Okay, never mind. Okay, this is different stuff, and it should be fine. This one is another one of these guys. So this is for union. And this is the last one. Okay, do we pass tests? Okay, we do. Do we Ziggy check repro.ziggy? So we still do. So that's fine. Let's unknown union case. Perfect. Okay. Then so this works. So we have generally solved this. Let's see the next problem. So this should be the same problem. Yeah, this is the same problem. But you know, while we're at this, while we're at it, let's see if we can how we deal with this. So there's this. Missing field child. Right, because ZIO log widget data is an optional child. So here widget child is an optional widget. Where is widget defined? Oh, wait, is this loopy? Are we looping? Yeah, it's loopy. Well, I guess we can do null. Expected widget data found null. Oh yeah, you're right. So this has to be present and then dot child equals null. Okay. Ziggy check. We're happy. So this has been solved. Okay, there's a couple of formatting problems now. Maybe we can make separate commits. So git status. Oh, I added some changes in the wording in here. Who cares? It's fine. Okay, so fix a parsing bug in, well, Ziggy schema. Or just a schema, I guess. Fix a parsing bug and improve scoping, scope search. So we can push, and then we can switch to lazy LSP, and we can rebase this. Motherfucker. Git rebase abort. Git merge master main. Merge conflict. I guess I'll do the rebase then. So this is what we had before. One went down this way, one went down this way. Oh. We both had this before. Add has this now. Have a different known folder. And this one has old known folder plus lazy. I see. Well, we keep old then. Right, this is gonna complain. Memory fragments with zero argument found one. Oh, so that's nicked in. You know, I think what we should do at this point, I think we should remove any CLI, any reference to the CLI. There's no LSP dependency whatsoever. No known folder, no CLI, just the no Ziggy check. No CLI exe for this guy. No WASM step. Just a Ziggy module. Yeah. No releases either. That's it. Should have done this in the beginning. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Then next. Auto formatting errors. Let's see. These apparently deletes a comment. Oh shit. Well, that's a problem indeed. I think the problem is that it's I think that it's everything. If we did this, oh, there's an unexpected token. Oh, that also. Okay, an empty struct basically kills a comment that it contains because we forget to check for comments basically in this case. I guess that's what it is. Okay. Let's take a look at the auto formatter code. Oh, this is Ziggy, not schema. This is Ziggy, not schema. Okay, Ziggy, not schema, huh? Ziggy, not schema. Uh-oh. Okay. So yeah, no worries. Okay, render comments, function render. So we're entering a struct. We're entering a struct, and that makes us print the opening curly. Indeed. Indeed. And then we render comments. I think it will do that up to where the curly opens. Then we do struct fields. Well, no. Wait, we do render comments after we print the curly, do we not? Yeah, so where is this supposed to get us? Render comments, indentation, node source, location start +1. Yeah, this is printing. But why is this after this? Is this your starting point? I guess this is the starting point. So we look at for comments that start here. But why is this a start +1? Oh, you know what? This is the bug. Okay, this is the bug. Before I gave a dot to this guy, this is so funny. This is so funny. So it's like this. Well, or even better. Here's how we do it. Open talk. We write the open talk. And then render comments and node start plus open talk plus dot len. Let's see how this goes. Oh. Man, I regressed that stuff horribly when I made that change. That's on me. Can we do like int cast in here? Or is it going to complain for the inner sum? It's going to complain about the inner sum. I can already feel it. No, we're happy. Okay. Did we succeed? We succeeded. Why is there a space in here that is there should not be a space in there. So if a struct is empty, it should not render with a space in it. So let's see if we can fix that. Is it render comments that puts a space in here? No, this guy. Oh shit, this guy does print spaces. But it does that for indentation. So that single space is not there because of that. It's the closing parentheses. I think it's the exiting from a struct that puts a space. Oh, there we go. Look at this. So here's how I would do it. If the struct or dictionary has no children, no space. So here's how it works. Don't tell me that we don't have the node ID. I bet we don't have the freaking node ID, do we? We don't have the node ID. It's okay. We can procure that with some math. I just don't remember what I called it, so I'm trying to find an instance of me doing it. So I can copy paste that. Oh, come on. Does it have a method for this? It does not. Parser. What about the iterator? There was this thing called child IDX. That's not a thing anymore. Okay. Oh, okay. No, I guess we do it manually. Okay, fuck it. We raw dog it. So in here, node index is going to be is it AST? Yeah. So it's going to be AST.nodes. Well, it's going to be node minus AST.nodes.ptr. It's going to give me node index. And then we say, okay, does it have a child? So to know if it has a child is that there must be a next node, not guaranteed, but there must be one. And it has to have this node as the parent. If not, then this guy has no children. So I would say it like this. If AST nodes dot len is greater than node idx plus 1 and AST.nodes at node idx plus 1 dot parent idx is this guy. And in this case, we print the space. Otherwise, no space. Oh, come on. So if we can index in there and same parent, then space, otherwise no space. Okay, let's see how we do now. Okay, watch this space go away. Down here, this one here. There we go. And if we nuke the comments, beautiful. Beautiful improvement. That's funny, man. It was kind of sad to get these bug reports because I thought, oh man, did I fuck up so much stuff, really? But I feel better knowing that these are all actually either stuff that I kind of knew about or things that are the result of the latest changes to the language. So they're like tiny regressions that I made when I changed the syntax of certain things, and then I just didn't have coverage for everything in my tests, and so stuff happens. But yeah, this was nice. So okay, I have one last repro, which might be an example of what was already happening before. Yeah, this looks like another problem. But you know what? Might as well copy. Okay, let's take a look. Is it already dark? It is, yeah. Let me see how I'll turn on the lights. It's not dark, but it is almost dark. Okay, so first good. I think we fixed this one as well. So we did it. Success. Git status, GA source, GC fix formatting bug. Ziggy FMT fix formatting bug. When dot curly notation was added for structs, the corresponding formatting code was not upgraded accordingly, resulting in comments inside of empty structs to disappear. This fix also ensures that empty structs and empty dicts that have no comments inside render without an internal space, i.e. and respectively. Okay, very happy. So now we switch to lazy LSP. Can I rebase this? Yes. Okay. We should have gone through all the bugs. Nice. I'm happy. Could have been worse, I guess. It wasn't too bad fixing this. The start was a little bit hard because it was a little bit confusing. So funny having the same time zone in most of the EU, but so much actual difference in daylight hours. Yeah, we're kind of wide, huh? And we're all in the same time zone. That is fair. I'm guessing if you live in Portugal, for example, it's still earlier for you. I think it's also the fact that now that, you know, days are getting shorter, it's just that the important cutoff point is early enough that you start noticing this stuff more than maybe you would have in the summer. In any case, so this was nice. Okay, so what do we do next? Let me see. Okay, if anybody has questions about any stuff, this is a good moment to ask, because this is a good moment for me to give answers about things. Next, so we can do this. The next thing that I want to work on, which I might do today in a moment, is starting the implementation of Ziggy Convert. We used to have some code, some stuff working in Ziggy Convert, but here's the thing that I didn't know in the past that I learned in the meantime very well. In the past, we had this problem of how to drive the conversion, the format conversion process in a way that is able to report good errors. Because the problem is this: the conversion code is taking JSON, turning it into Ziggy. But keep in mind, the JSON, like if you convert Ziggy to JSON without a schema, that's the same JSON document. All valid JSON documents are valid Ziggy documents, so nothing has to happen. It's just like it's a file rename, basically. But if you do have a schema, or even if you have like a syntax error in JSON, because one thing that we do in any case is, even though a valid JSON document is a valid Ziggy document, obviously if you give a JSON document to convert to Ziggy Convert, to the CLI tool, we need to parse the JSON document to validate that it is correct. So first of all, we might need to report errors in that part of the process. Then the second part of the problem is that we need to take the JSON, map it to the schema, which might be impossible because, you know, maybe you expect the JSON to conform to a schema, but it turns out that it does not. And so, somewhere maybe we're expecting a union, but we find a JSON array. So, based on that, what we want to be able to do is say to the user, look, this part of the JSON document did not either contain a syntax error or did not match the schema that you wanted to, the schema that you specified. And a good error message of that kind contains references to the source code. It should tell you line and column. But at the time, I didn't know how to drive this process. We were trying to use other things that do not build ASTs. And now I know enough to know that this process should, Ziggy schema, 100% Ziggy schema. I will die before I write any tooling that touches JSON schema. Sorry, I'm never gonna do that. So no, Ziggy schema. Because Ziggy convert, like when you use the Ziggy convert CLI command, what you can do is that you can optionally specify a Ziggy schema. You cannot specify a JSON schema. If you want to do that stuff, you're on your own basically. So, but the conversion can fail because the JSON document doesn't match the Ziggy schema. So where am I going with this? My point is that basically, what we need to do is find a JSON parser that builds a JSON AST. The one in the Ziggy standard library doesn't do that. The one in the Ziggy standard library, I think I should look into it a little bit because there's a lower level, I think there's a lower level, they call it a tokenizer, although it's a bit more than just a tokenizer. And maybe that API is lower level enough that we can use that to build an AST. And but if not, then we need to find the JSON parser, and we need to use that to build a JSON AST. Or, you know what? We could use the Ziggy parser. We parse the JSON schema. The JSON schema. Oh my god, my brain has been poisoned now. We parse the JSON document as a Ziggy file, and then we try to map a schema on it. That is definitely interesting. What is the name of your Helix theme? It's called One Dark. So interesting. I thought I knew what to do, but now I'm thinking about whether we can do this funky thing where we silently parse the JSON file as a Ziggy file. How do you handle unions in the source JSON document? That is a great question, Blurrycat. So here's my plan. My plan is this. My plan is to do something like this. If you have, struct foo that contains int b union, bar. That is not valid syntax. Let's say union bar, and then bar contains, buzz. It contains quicks, actually quacks. Int and quicks bytes. Okay, if we have this, then I will accept, I think, JSON shaped like this. Mm, yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get rid of these other fields so that we can, so that the example becomes more concise. I think it should be something like this. So it's either this or this. That's what I was thinking. I will not support having, so sometimes people do also this. Yeah, sometimes people do also this, right? B colon. Yeah, I'm not gonna branch on types. So if you do something like this, uh, like, and you expect this to match, no, this is not gonna be supported, and I'm not gonna support. So let's do it like this. Yes, no, and also I'm not going to support like this. Hmm. I'm not gonna support this either. Sometimes people do this as well. Yeah. The reason why I'm being bitchy about it is because it's not just a matter of principle. There's no, I'm not trying to be principled at all with this stuff. But the problem is that once you start having um, conversion rules that are like too magical, then either you end up in situations where something ends up being too um, ambiguous and users get surprising behavior. Like the worst is when you're trying to take your original document, map it to a schema, it succeeds, and then the output is not what you expect. Like the mapping has made it work, but in a way that you did not think that is not what you were going for. I think that is an outcome that we need to avoid completely. Um, so all these magical things that, like, you know, that wrap a little bit too much, or that they assume that a field has like a special meaning, that we assume that type has a special meaning, that kind of stuff, I think it becomes too problematic very quickly. It gives you a little bit of extra flexibility, sure, I guess, but um yeah, no, I'm not gonna support this. So you will need to have already the wrapping done this way. Yeah. Definitely. Well, definitely it's going to be like this. Also, related to what I was saying earlier, we need to deal with not only JSON, but we need to deal with TOML and YAML. For example, how is the TOML to union conversion going to look like? What are we going to do with YAML, especially weirdo YAML features? I think that if you're using weirdo YAML features, like if you're using references, I think we just don't support them. I think at that point it's like on you to, I don't know, take your cursed YAML, turn it into less cursed JSON, and then feed that JSON to us, or less cursed YAML from YAML to YAML, and then you feed to Ziggy convert your less cursed YAML. Yeah. But that also means that we're gonna need to find We're gonna need to find libraries that do this stuff for us, because man, I don't want to write a parser. What if you see that? So if somebody feeds it this way, this example still seems to duplicate the comment. God damn it! Did I forget? You know what? I might have forgotten one of your examples. Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, so never mind. We have one more bug to fix. Thank you. Copy. Okay, so I'll look into that now. What was I saying? The last thing. Okay, so let's say that you feed me this. This is a conversion error because I will only allow you to turn this JSON object here in a union if it contains a single field. If it doesn't contain a single field, then it cannot map to a union unambiguously. So even regardless of what the field names are, it's not gonna work. Okay, so apparently this duplicates the comment. Oh God. Oh God. It duplicates the comment. Oh, you see that the comma moves? The comma moves. So if I undo, you see that there's a comma here. The comma moves, but we take this comment and print it before the comma, and then we print it again after the comma. That is that is a choice. Hey Daniel, will there be more guests on the Showtime? Yeah, I need to organize the Showtime, don't I? I haven't done it in a while. I've run the Showtime for a bit, like I resumed, ran it for a bit, and then got busy with other stuff. So I haven't run a Zig Showtime in a while now. So yeah, if I organize it, there will definitely be more guests on it. I'm just not organizing it right now. Okay, so this is another silly problem where we're clearly doing, when formatting this comma code, our process so far. No, well, I was about to say we've been looking at so we're printing comments in front of the start of what we're doing. Maybe. You know what? I don't know. Whatever. Let's take a look at the code. I don't remember what my philosophy is with this stuff. So here we are looking at printing we're ending a struct, and then there's a comma, and then there's a comment. So it's either code that has to do with us ending a struct, but that does not seem to be the case. Because, well, I mean, there's this switch. What do we do after the switch, though? We do nothing after the switch. Interesting. This switch could even be done this way. Look, we regained one level of indentation. Okay. So there's nothing that happens at the end of this. But, wait, this is struct H in dict H. But there is struct vertical. And this one is well, it's a top level struct, actually. It's a braceless struct, for which we do nothing. So, okay, this one is but this one inside is also a vertical struct. So let's take a look at this. A vertical struct, we print the curly, and then we render comments. You know what we can do? Here's what we can do. To find who's the curl pit? Oh. So to find the curl pit, here's what we can do. Oops. We can comment out this guy and see if it's this guy that's doing the thing. It is. It's indeed that guy that's doing stuff. It is indeed that guy that is doing stuff. That is interesting. So let's double check. I'm gonna zig build with the line uncommented. We format, and now we're back to having the duplicate. Okay, so this guy is problematic. Maybe. But what is the other one? The other one is struct field, I think. Yeah. So if there is a comma, so if I comment this out, then I would expect the comment to disappear. I think we need to either decide that one of the two has to go, or in a way they need to, well, at least they need to not duplicate what they're doing. Yeah, so now the comment goes away. If I put this back on, what happens now? Yeah, look, this eats the comma. That is bad. It should not be eating the comma. Okay, so I think the problem from my perspective is this. This guy is fine. This guy is also probably fine. But this guy is skipping the comma. Why is it skipping the comma? So let's take a look at render comments. Are we like skipping commas in here? Last end. That's where we start from. And then we do next. And we only do stuff if the token is a comment line. So how do we end up skipping the comma? Oh, I know why. It's because we are mistakenly in the AST saying that the struct also covers the comma. It's encompassing the comma. That's what the problem is. But it shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't. So somewhere in the AST, so these guys are probably fine, but somewhere in the AST parsing code, we set the struct end wrongly. So I think this has to do with we're back to looking at what what type expression is doing. No, type expression is in schemas, not in Ziggy. So struct field, dict field. Begin field. Skip separator. Begin value. There we go. Begin value. Add child of one of these guys. Okay. Struct v. Okay, so we need to take a look at the, I guess, the struct v parsing code. And somewhere we are closing the node. This is where we're closing the node. After consuming. But here we're looking at the peak token. Okay. we need to figure out where is it that we're doing this stuff. The good news is that there's not a ton of places where, well, where we're doing this kind of thing. So out of curiosity, if we are in a dictionary field and it is not empty, so we're leaving it, where are we going? Where is the matching curly of this guy? Okay, else. And is, if the current token is a comma, the current token end. Otherwise, if the current token is not a comma, so it's, I guess, a closing bracket, then we said it's the previous token end that ends the field. So far so good. So this is fine. But I suspect this is the problem. I think this here is where something I don't know, wrong is going on. We're entering a struct. If the next token is a comma, and if we're empty, then we complain. Otherwise, but regardless, then the peak token is going to be the one after the comma. Otherwise, peak token is the current token. Otherwise, it is the current token. So next is field. We look at peak token. And if it's a identifier, then yes, the next thing is going to be a field or it's going to be like, I don't know, whatever it's going to be. But if it is a right bracket that we pick, then we want to close the struct. So here's how we do it. If the current token is a comma, we skip the comma. Otherwise, notice the current node, we set its tag so down here, if it was a comma, we have consumed it. If it wasn't a comma, so the problem is this, we need to consume after, not before. I think that might be literally it. There we go. We don't duplicate anything now. The comma doesn't move in weird places. Everything seems fine. Perfect. Zig build test. Did we regress anything? We did. Let's take a look. Something was saying 1418, schema expected and found struct. Now it's pointing at, it's saying 1417. Yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17. Look at this. Previously, we were covering the trailing comma, and I didn't notice this. So this test that we're failing, we're actually failing it. We're improving it. And these guys have the same problem. The 1011 becomes 910. That is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or no, I think they are like, do they start at 1? I think they might start at 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, this is a missing field. Okay. It's okay. 1417, right? Yeah. What the heck am I doing? 46, 47 also has changed. Did the other one also change? No. The heck? Where is the last problem? 10, 11, 9, 10. 10, 11, 9, 10. Oh, there was another line. Are we getting there? Okay. Okay. So we should be good now. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I know it's been a short stream, but I think I might end it here. I don't feel like starting Ziggy Convert now, and I'll do it tomorrow probably. So I'll think about my strategy for Ziggy Convert. Maybe I'll shop for some libraries in the meantime, and then tomorrow we can maybe take a look at which libraries to integrate and move our first steps in trying to implement format conversion. It's gonna be fun. For some definitions of fun. We'll see. Man, I sincerely hope I don't have to write my own parsers. I just like I went down this whole rabbit hole because I didn't want to write a YAML parser. There is no way I end up writing a YAML parser now. We need conversion. I think we should have it, but I don't want to write a custom parser for it. So I think this is gonna be it for me. And yeah, thank you all for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. See you all.